Welcome everyone to the first episode of Quick Chess Lore, where I bring you interesting stories from the world of chess. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a much talked about man in today's date. It is the 17th world champion, Ding Liren. Now, a lot has been talked about Ding's status as the world champion. Does he deserve it? Is Magnus better than him? Well, that can be debated. But today, we're going to take a look at the two games of blitz that took place between Ding and Magnus at the Sinquefield Cup tiebreaks. In the first episode, Ding opens the game with 1c4. Magnus goes for knight f6. Simple English line with bishop g2 and d5. The game continues as follows. Ding regains the pawn, and we have queen c2, c5, and knight to c3. Magnus goes queen c7. We have the brave d4 by Ding. Ding in this position could have also castled before going d4, but he does decide otherwise. We have c takes d4, knight takes d4, and bishop to c5. Ding retreats back with his knight to b3. We have bishop to d6, castles, and rook d1. Magnus now goes bishop to e5, Ding goes bishop to e3, and in this position, Magnus takes an interesting decision. He goes knight to d5, and Ding immediately goes bishop takes d5. If you notice here, Ding is actually winning the d5 pawn. But Ding instead brings his rook to c1, and we see the trade a little afterwards, once we also trade off to the endgame. The game is then filled with a lot of maneuvers, with Ding being winning in a lot of positions later on, as you will see. But Ding ultimately cannot find a winning move. But what happens is even more interesting, as Magnus Carlsen is very low on time, and in this position, Magnus loses on time. We move on to the second game of the match, where Ding Liren has the black pieces. Magnus opens the game with d4, Ding goes d5. We have knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and a6. This is a line that Ding also played against Nepo in their World Championship match. We have bishop to a4, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, d3, and d5. All standard theory that neither you or I will ever remember in our life. We have bishop to b3, d6, c3, knight d5, bishop to c2, and c5. Magnus goes d4, Magnus breaks in the center. We have c takes d4, c takes d4, castles by Ding, h3. Ding brings his rook to the center. Magnus closes the position down with d5, with bishop to d7, knight c3, queen b8, and bishop to d3 by Magnus. Ding goes rook c8. His plan is clear. He wants to put his knight on this juicy square. We have knight to e2, knight b7. Ding is going for it, g4, but Ding doesn't care. Ding puts his knight on c5. We have knight to g3. Now Ding takes the bishop, queen takes, and Ding is clamping down on Magnus's position. The engine agrees. Black is slightly better. We have rook to e1 by Magnus, queen b5 by Ding. No trades, says Magnus. Rook c7 by Ding, bishop e3 by Magnus, rook a8. Ding is doubling on the c5. We have knight to d2 by Magnus, and Ding goes g6. He takes away this square from Magnus's knight. With b3 by Magnus, queen b7 by Ding, knight c4, and bishop b5 by Ding. Knight a5, Magnus attacks Ding's queen. Ding goes back to b8 with queen b2, rook c3. Ding is breaking through, looks like, but is he? Magnus plays a tricky move, a3. Now, according to the computer, Ding should actually bring his bishop back, protecting this pawn with his queen, but Ding is a human. He doesn't do that. He takes the pawn here. And here, Ding Liren sacrifices his rook. Takes, and Ding is giving up a lot of pieces. It's a sacrificial game. What is happening? It's a lot of chaos. And in this position, Ding plays the move bishop to a8. Oh my god, what is happening? Queen takes a6 is a mistake. Why? Look at Ding. He goes knight to d5. Bishop to a7, he doesn't care. He gets his queen to c7. Rook c1, he sacks his queen now. Oh my god, this man. He goes, Magnus goes king to h2, bishop to c6, queen takes a3, Ding doesn't care. He takes the pawn on g5 with queen takes d6, which is another mistake. Why? Ding Liren will tell us. It is bishop to f4. The knight is pinned. This knight moves anywhere, and this will be a checkmate. What does Magnus do now? Magnus goes bishop to c5, but Ding plays a lethal move now. For this, let us look at the live game.
Bishop f4.
Bishop f4 plays
Queen f8.
Magnus. Oh my god, look at that move, guys. Look at that move. Ding Liren plays knight to e7. How cool is that? How cool is that? Magnus takes bishop, Magnus takes the knight. I can't contain my excitement. And Ding checkmates Magnus. It's checkmate on the board. So there you go. This was the game where Ding defeated Magnus with the black pieces, and the tiebreaks ended 2-0 in Ding's favor, and Ding Liren went on to win the Sinquefield Cup.